So today the market was like clean. I mean, I've had, at least for me, 4 days in a row, on point on what the market was going to do. So that's good that at least I'm back in sync with it. But how'd you guys do today, like trade wise?
I did fine.
What's that?
I was,
I did well.
Okay. P&L, go over like what was your game plan? What was your thought process? Um, you know, right at the morning.
Everything I got into today was just a quick scalp. As soon as I hit 5%, I just pulled out of anything I was in, no matter where it was going, just because it was so choppy.
Hmm.
So everything I did was a quick scalp.
Right on, right on. How about you, John?
I was down over $600. Ended up getting out of it by like 300 something bucks. So I
Nice.
closed the day negative 300 and let me see here, $328. I had like three consistent days, but now I was just trying to go back to my I actually didn't place any trades yesterday.
Okay.
Um, but I did place some trades the day before, so I was trying to see what that P&L was, which I believe was negative, yeah, $246. So it pretty much almost wiped out all the gains for the last three days.
Hmm.
But I think what I'm realizing is that like I'm coming down to a support, and like the candles will, uh, you know, break that support, but not by a lot. I'll get in it, and then and then like today, pretty much it would shoot back up to the other support. So I go, okay, let me just test these levels, and I was like, okay, this is a pattern I see like I'm seeing here. Let me test these levels. I don't care if I win or lose. I'll just bail if it goes on the other side of this resistance. So I put in a put, and it did come down, but I didn't ride it as far as I should have.
Hmm.
Got most of my money back, but I'm just noticing like for myself, like I see you come in and out of trades, and you're sitting there sniping. I mean, phenomenally sniping these options, uh, scalps, and it seems like, dude, I can't get anywhere near close to
Hmm.
what you're doing, and I know that you have way more time into this, and like 2 years of market experience compared to only a few months for myself.
Right. Um, I think your question was like, what do you feel like you're doing wrong?
Yeah,
Um,
man.
nothing really. It's just execution, right? Um, as far as analyzing the support and resistance, right? We talked about, like, if you can see my screen right now, we talked about putting a range box like this gives you a much clearer read on which which side of the move is the higher probability. Like if I'm gonna do a test with you guys, like with you right now, like looking at Netflix, what do you see this pattern as? This is in a 1 hour. What are you seeing? Okay, I'm gonna show you guys the bigger picture. Okay, so here's the bigger picture. So we obviously have support level here, but describe to me what are you seeing here?
I mean, to me, it seems like at this point it should be a long, because it's above, your 10 and on the hourly it was above the 10 and 20, but it's way below the 200. So like I don't know if that's like what you would call a dead cat bounce at this point, but um man, it could go even further though. I feel like down to this past this box.
Hmm.
So I get confused about it. I'm like, is it going to bounce here, or is it just going to go further to the next support?
Yeah. So the answer is never going to be 100%, and you're just going to have to accept and live with that, right? So when you say um, your thesis is it's got a it's so far away from the 200-day moving average, and it's already broke this, and you're not sure if this is gonna keep going or is it gonna bounce. You're gonna have to instinctively decide for yourself that okay, I'm long biased in this. This could keep going, and keep going down, and I'm okay with that. But now you have thesis, and that's exactly clean what you just said is our 1 hour, which is I've emphasized many times that my pattern of entry is if I like the setup on the 1 hour, right? Like my the 1 hour is like my favorite. If I like the 1 hour, I'm gonna trade it on that direction. Okay, whatever if it's downside or upside. Right now, as you already see exactly what I'm seeing, is above the 10 and 20 SMA, and we have the 10 leading the trend, right? It's above the 20. Okay, and on the upside, we have plenty of room to go here, right? And if you look far back enough, this is a long sell off, and yes, we should have a bounce. Stock behavior wise, it needs to have a bounce, even just this small portion right here, right?
Yep.
These portion of a bounce, this little portion of a bounce like that, right? These are on a daily. That's plenty of move to be to lock in some gains.
Those are
Okay?
profitable days if you write
Yeah, those are profit days. You don't need a huge run like this. Like you don't need a huge run like that. Okay, those are multiple days. We play the stock market day by day. Each day is different from the other. So right now the thesis is Netflix has a lot of room to the upside. And then another thing you want to kind of put the key telltale sign of the market, indicators of the market, right? What did the whole entire market do today? Hmm? Can anybody tell me that? What did the whole entire market do today?
Didn't it sell off?
Right. And what did Netflix do?
Sold off.
Hey, what?
Oh. No, it went reverse. It wait. Yeah, it sold off.
No, Netflix held its ground.
Oh.
Netflix literally like freaking One Nation Army freaking holding the freaking price action. What does that tell you? Yeah, you have to think in a buyer and seller perspective, right? Supply and demand. If everybody's exiting the rest of the stocks, what makes Netflix difference? Why?
It's bottomed out and people are accumulating.
Yeah, people are literally accumulating right here, okay? Literally accumulating. And here's what's gonna happen, okay? All right, well actually let me do some tests with you guys, okay? Uh, this is the kind of thesis that you have to put together when it comes to like reading the charts. And this could be on a 1 day, 1 hour, or whatever time frame it is. You have to put this thesis together. Okay. With what's happening right now, okay, what do you see? What's the next event that's gonna happen after this big drop and it's no longer dropping? Think like a trader's perspective. What are you gonna do next? What are the events that's gonna occur if this level holds? Can anybody tell me that? Come on, anybody.
dude,
People would buy and
if
then
that level holds,
stock would
it's
rise.
definitely gonna go up. I feel like.
If this level holds,
Yeah, where are you at on the?
like give me more content than that. Like give me more the really elaborate explanation what's gonna play out if this level holds. Like give me
I
the
think if
next
that level
action.
holds, like if that level holds for a couple days, right, like right there, and it bounces in between that box,
Hmm.
it's either gonna shoot. It's eventually that to me that's like a breakout play. Like that's gonna shoot way up really fast, or it's gonna shoot down really fast.
Give me the information what causes those.
Dude, that. But see,
Buying and selling.
that's I can't even tell you. I don't know what causes that.
Buying and selling.
Okay, right? Buying and selling. But think from a position perspective. What are those?
Talk about
The psychology.
Yeah, what is the actions and the from a from each trader's perspective, what's happening here? I'll give you guys one more shot and I'll explain it.
Well, what's happening there? That's everybody's psychological point. So when it hits there and it doesn't break through, I would assume that most people are going to start stacking their bag.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
gonna say. It's like buying. You got buyers and sellers evenly in there, not
okay.
moving it up or down.
All right. So let's break it down. Okay. So first thing first that I'm gonna think, okay, this is a run, right? This is a run up. What's happening during the run up? People are making what?
Purchases.
Yeah, they're making they have profits happening
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. This like who holds the biggest positions in these type of trades?
Hedges in
Hedge.
banks,
Yep, hedge
hedge
funds and
funds and
banks,
banks.
the long-term investors, IRAs, 401ks. Okay. Now, when this when that happens, right? They typically have a stop loss, right? Or a
Yeah.
take profit zone. So
Mm-hmm.
just like what we talked about is when we make a run like this, right? And then we make this area our next support zone. If that breaks here, you take profits because the next pop is going to be the ceiling and then it reverses on you like this, right? So in this situation, everybody, all the hedge funds, the people that actually matter the most, that move the stock, right, that can make or break the patterns are the hedge funds. Okay, us retail traders, we're just piggybacking off of their money going in and out of the market. Okay, so what's happening now is from this high pulls back from the 75% line. Look at this big sell-off. This is what you call a profit taking, right? And when you start seeing red days in a row like this, all the short sellers, and guess what? Hedge funds can short too. Okay, we all know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they take a short, how big of a positions do they take?
Massive. Millions.
Big.
Billions.
Billions. Wow.
Billions, not millions, billions. And we're not talking one hedge fund. We're talking there's hundreds of hedge funds out there, right? From, a couple billions to 100 billion. Okay. Um, so in that perspective, when you start seeing weakness like this, just like you and I as a trader, we're looking to short it, right? So we're taking, $1,000 shorts while the hedge funds are putting in $10 billion short positions. Okay. So now they made these hedge funds made profit. Now they're gonna sell, right? They're taking profits as the stock starts to reverse. And then new hedge funds or the same hedge funds will also take a short positions. Now tell me what happens as you think for yourself. As a trader, you took a short position somewhere in between these range right here, right? Somewhere in between these range from here to about at least right here, right? Because this was a gap down. If you took any positions short here, what are you going to do when it starts to bottom out like this?
You're gonna start buying.
Oh,
You're going to start closing your positions, right?
Oh yeah.
Or at least trimming.
Yeah.
And what does that do to the stock when you
yeah.
start
Close it
closing your
up.
positions? What do you do or what are the mechanism when you close your short position?
You buy it back.
You buy it back. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when billions of dollars have to be bought back, what's going to cause this move?
Mm-hmm.
And cause it to move up.
And okay, causes to move up. And then out of those 4 days that I've been right about what do I say when this events happen?
Gap when it gap
Yeah.
fills.
Money gap fill. Yeah.
It's a gap fill. Exactly. What's happening right now, guys, it's literally showing itself to say when this thing pops, it's gonna make a move here. When it starts to move, especially when it breaks this zone right here, uh, this area right here, okay? When it breaks that, that's really gonna pop because you know why? All the hedge funds that have billions of dollars in short positions, they're gonna cover and they're gonna start stepping on each other. and that's gonna drive the price back up at least to this level, right? Because here's the thing, when it picks up momentum, it's gonna this 10 SMA is gonna start doing this, right? And you guys see me do this over and over. Just picture what the 10 and 20 SMA starts to do, right? This is actually gonna shoot up a little bit higher like this. And you guys have seen this many, many times. Okay? It's gonna start doing this. Maybe this is gonna blow right through the 10, okay? And then it's gonna reject back down, consolidate into this support area because this becomes support right here, right? That becomes support. And then the next move up. When this candle starts to move up, what is this line right here?
That's resistance.
What is this? Which SMA is this?
That
It's your 10.
That's
yeah,
the,
it's
that that's your 20. The blue one's your
Oh,
20.
that's your 20. Oh,
Yep.
gotcha.
Because
Mine's
on the
different.
yep. So that's your 20, and 20 is a stronger resistance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And with that kind of volume, with with that kind of volume, if the market doesn't start selling off some more, like let's say there's another Fed news or whatever, but I feel like that's all out of the way and we have bottomed out, right? And I feel like this is gonna make a move at least to here and then becomes chop zone again. Guys, this exact patterns I presented to you on the 1 minute over and over and over. It's no difference in any different time frames. It will literally have a chain reaction from 1 minute to 5 to 15 to 30 to 1 hour to the daily to the weekly. The same pattern occurs. Okay. So therefore, that's the psychology I was looking for. Is that this kind of thought process you have to apply. You're not just, oh, because it's consolidating. Like you have to read from a trader's perspective, from a bank or hedge fund's perspective. If you took a trade, this is what's going to happen when you see this. Just like what you would do as a normal trader, right? They're no difference. Okay. And all our indicators is stacking up to go on the upside because you have your stochastic slow like way oversold, right? Like it's literally hanging out right here, consolidating. And if you look at the behavior, what happens every time it gets down here, right? Every time it gets down in this area, like I can literally draw this line, right? Every time what happens to this area, okay? Look at here. Look up to the chart, okay?
shot up
It shot up. What happens here? It
and
shot up.
reverse.
What happened here? It consolidated, shot up. What happened here? Like literally, you rinse and repeat. This one was kind of a fake out, but you didn't take a loss on this one. It was more like when you see this, okay? So I don't know if you guys know how to really put the stochastic slow or the RSI as an indicator. Like look at this, right? You can see it right here. It from this area right here, you're like, oh, it's oversold, so I'm gonna buy, and then it drop. Okay, here's your telltale sign that was a fake drop. Your buying momentum was increasing. Okay, you see that? So ideally, when it drops like this, it's supposed to be lower, but your stochastic slow is actually showing that that was a there's accumulation, there's buyer demand is actually increasing. That's not a real sell-off, right? There's actually people buying. So this could have been a short cover, right? And then people are like just accumulating right here, and then from there it just shot up. Like look at this area right here. This is like accumulation and it wasn't even showing on the chart. Okay, so those are the kind of things that you guys have to start picking up, even all the way down to the 1 minute time frame. All right, so as far as Netflix, um I really like this stock. Like I banked on Netflix today. I went long while everybody else was going short. Okay, and that pop, let me clean this up now. Okay, so the hourly, yeah, I made money on these pops right here. You can even see on the 5 minute. Okay. Like I literally scalped this, made money upside, and then I think I sold a little too soon. I sold like right around this area right here, and then right on this drop, I rebought that, rode this up, rinse and repeat. I literally scalped the heck out of this thing. Okay. And then you probably wondering like how did I manage to time that? So let's just draw a line there, and then we'll see it on a bigger time frame. Look at that. Boom. Support 20, support uptrend, right? 20 is pointing up. And then the box that I drew out, okay, we did this morning. This was my area. Like this, remember what I said, wherever side you're in, right? We were on the upside, so therefore I took the long. Okay, from there it's just buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip until it breaks a new line. So let's say this area right here, you can see there was a behavior. If that was broken, I'm gonna switch down to the downside. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the downside all the way at least to the top of this guy. Um, is that making sense?
Yep.
Yes,
And
actually, surprisingly.
and again, I'm gonna keep reminding you guys, let time, like you're learning as fast as you can right now, but at the same time, it's gonna take time for it to really click together. Okay, and you're just gonna have to just let that be. Try to get as least frustrated as possible, especially when you're like, trust me, the last, what was it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? The last 2 weeks or first 2 weeks of the month when we're taking red days, it's very frustrating when you're not in sync with the market. And it's like, what the hell? I'm doing everything I can, right? But that's all right. That's what I said. Once we get a read back on the market again and that the trend actually um, follows itself, I mean, I'm 4 for 4 for a call out 4 days in a row on almost like knowing exactly what the stock market's going to do, which is good because now I'm synced up and the market is actually uh, doing what it's previously done. Okay. All right. Any questions before we move on? Okay. So
You hold. Oh,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, are you holding any of your Netflix still, or are you not?
No, I went flat today. I was gonna hold AMD, and then AMD washed out, and all it did was just like got rid of it and went short. I I don't even try to fight the trend anymore. Like I knew it broke, so let me see. Let's bring it up to this corner so I know where to put it back.
It broke that 200-day moving average.
Yep, exactly. So I was long, right? I was long on this, and I mentioned this today, and somebody called me. I was like, why are you buying a downtrend? I was like, because I'm hoping this 200-day moving average is gonna hold. You know why? Because it got tested one, right? It got tested two, it got tested three. Okay. So for me, I was like, okay, there's like literally buyers right here. Buyers are literally holding up that level, and then it was a long sell-off, right? The same thought process, right? Same thought process. If any positions, short seller positions, are right here, and they have been convinced that this is gonna hold, this is gonna pop, and that pop happens fast. Okay, that pop happens fast, like this green candle, like this. Okay. So I didn't want to miss that. But at the same time, I was open-minded that if that breaks, right? If that breaks, buyers went away. Buyers said, "F that." The rest of the market selling off. I'm just gonna stand aside. Okay. AMD does have good news. I believe that they're getting bought out or buying somebody. I gotta look into it. But either way, okay. If you look at that level, let's draw it here, and that 200-day moving average. Okay, what do you see here? What do you see? Support. Okay, support. Like that's a strong support, right? And then if you draw your box here again, you draw that box. right there. So all I was thinking is I need to hold above that 200-day moving average. If it didn't, it was gonna flush. Okay, and then this was the next target right here, next low. Because if you look at that level, you can see it here, right? You can see all these level right here. That's your next support. And if it keeps going down, there's gonna be a lot of support area because you can literally start drawing that line. Okay, you can draw this line, right? We have a lot of support in this area now. So therefore, it won't be as a free fall, right? It won't be a much of a free fall. But look at this. That's the reason it failed that because look at this range, right? That's such a big range. So that's why it just free fall. So tomorrow, hopefully, AMD will be at like, 99, 99 area, and a potential pop back up to like 110. But tomorrow's Friday, and Friday is typically a sell-off day. It's probably gonna grind, but I will swing this for next week. But by the end of the day, if it hangs around the 100 zone, it holds. I will swing this for next week. And then earnings coming up too. And AMD earnings should be pretty good, although with they're having the supply issues. But the good thing is any inventory they have is gone, right? It's a high demand. So that's the thought process behind the trades, and I want you guys to really start thinking that way rather than just like, oh, it's on a 200 moving average. You have to think in a bigger perspective. Okay, cool. All right, next question. Let's go, let's go. Are you guys feeling the market? What do you guys feel of the market? You think it's gonna keep coming down, or you're kind of out of sync still?
I don't know, man. I feel like it could still come down.
Hmm.
I'm not even sure if I've been in sync.
It will become sync. Trust me.
Feel
Like,
that.
I'm like waiting for that moment, man.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know. I feel like it kind of shook me a little bit.
I don't know
And
about you.
then I was trading this week, and I made a little bit of money. But then, like, as soon as I see if I'm up on something, as soon as I see it go down,
Hmm.
you know what I mean. But then, like, I took a spy call on, I think it was yesterday, because yeah, it was yesterday. Because that's when FOMC or whatever,
Hmm.
and and I made some money on it, but it was just like, and then I looked later, and I think I bought in at like, I bought two contracts at like maybe 60 cents,
Hmm.
and then sold it like maybe I think 75 ish, and and then I looked like later in the day, and it was like up past $1. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn it, dude. What, like, but I saw it started coming down, and I was like, fuck that, I'm out.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, which is there's totally nothing wrong with that. Locking in your profits and just running with it. That's totally nothing wrong with that. It's a good practice to have. That gives you another fighting chance the next day to get another read on the market, right? Versus like I've been through in the same situation to where you don't lock in your profits and it goes against you. Now the following day, you have more doubt than the previous day. Versus if you lock in your profits today, tomorrow your confidence is so much better, right? You're gonna feel like you're in sync with the market because you took a green day. You took a profit. Okay.
Mm.
That's more valuable than you sitting here and studying all day. You locking in gains consistently, you're gonna feel like, oh, I know what the market's gonna do next, even if it's just, a $50 gain. It don't matter if
Mm-hmm.
you move, like most of the moves, guys, like the market moved another like almost 1,000% today. Okay. And probably the most I've locked in was like 30%. 30%, like on my trades. Like I'm okay with that. Yeah, it sucks to really think about, oh my God, I sold too soon, blah blah. that just increases your doubt even more. Like you're stacking up doubts instead of confidence, you know. And I want you guys to really focus on the mental side because like
Mhm.
you've heard it over and over. Like this game is easy as far as pushing the buttons and taking your trades. But the emotional side is like 99% of the battle. So therefore, work on that from thinking, okay, I took money from the market today. Thank God. It kept going 1,000%. That's fine. But guess what? I get to do it again tomorrow. Now with confidence. And you do it again the following day. Now you double confidence. Next thing you know, you don't even care if the market freaking burns as long as you took some money from it, right? That's all this game is. It's not about catching that 1,000%. Yeah, it's nice to have. It's ego booster, but man, long term wise, I mean, I'm sure most of you guys are investors and you've heard all these, long term investors like they don't care. They just like want to just catch part of the move. Okay. And so,
Yeah, definitely. And then also just like learning, because like this month with you, we've all been like scalping options mostly.
hmm
And my goes like my lifestyle, just meaning like work and everything else. I need to like focus more on buying longer contracts so that I don't, and probably my emotional state too. Like if I'm scalping, like I need to be in front of my phone or my computer like right now. You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes.
Um, Whereas if I had something longer, then it's like, oh, I could buy at some point today if it hits my price target, and then I've got a week or what you know what I mean, at least a few days in order to actually execute on the back end of it.
hmm Yep, exactly. So, uh, you just have to like figure out and like you guys need to start writing things down too. Okay, you guys need to start journaling your trades, your everyday. Like you have to dedicate at least an hour after you're done trading to go, all right, how did I do today? And how can I improve it? And what did I do wrong and what did I do right? Right? Like literally start tracking that data because this is what the game is all about, is data tracking. Okay. I'm able to explain all this to you like, I could do this in my sleep now, but am I going to be 100% right? No. And I'm okay with that. But based on the data I know, like a good example, like if we're on a range zone is from that yellow line to this next line. Where are we at right now? Right? We're about 3/4 of the way of the move. 3/4 of the way. So I know that like psychology wise of the stock, the thought process of all the traders can see exact same thing what I'm seeing. Okay, these indicators are available to millions of people. Okay, and there's millions of people that use the same thing. So if they're thinking, okay, the next target is $95 on AMD, right? I'm gonna short the pop. I'm more likely gonna look for key levels, which is what's key levels in this area. What's key level? If this thing pops up, what's your key level of entry to go short?
200.
Okay, the 200. What else? What else reading can you tell me that the 200 has other backer information that should hold?
The 10 and 20 are pointing down.
Yep, 10 and 20 are pointing down. And then let's draw a line here as well. So another thing is you see these candles? One, two, three. You have three candles, the basically the ceiling of the bottom of those candles, right? They become resistance. And if you draw your line there, look left, and what's supporting there?
Mhm.
Okay, behavior wise, what did it say when it got to these levels? What did the candles do when it got to this price level?
They rejected.
It rejected. So we know that there's indicators from the past that hey, when this stock popped up at that level, it got rejected. And I know that if it gets rejected, our next target down is 95, right? It may try to hold this level right here, right? You break that, free fall, okay? And this analysis goes all the way to the 1 minute, okay? So if you're confused of like what time frame should I enter when these patterns present itself on any time frame, and then you have to ask yourself, are you scalping? Are you swing trading? Like how long are you gonna hold this trade? If if you're on the go and you can't get in and out of the market as fast as you can, then your entry to go long or to go short should be in a bigger time frame. Okay? On a big time frame. You go, okay, the 1 hour 200 day moving average is up here and the stock is about to touch it. I'm about to go to work. I'm going to put a short order right here and I'm going to set an alert to go, let's say I'm going to enter at 109. I'm going to put an alert at 110. That tells me the stock poke above the 200-day moving average. And then is it going to rip to continue to the 10 SMA? But at least now you know how to analyze it. If it gets on the other side of the line, you can cut your losses, right? Or you can just hold for whatever tolerance percentage you allow to go negative in. Okay. All right. So as far as the market sentiment itself, let's go to SPX. First of all, is that making sense to everybody? Is that like helping the thought process breakdown of the trades?
Helps a ton.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And this video is recorded, so I want you guys to watch this like a million times until you're like, oh, now I see like your natural instinct to see these type of reading. Um, it's just gonna click naturally. Like again, be okay, be okay with being wrong is the hardest part, but that will take time. That will take time. Okay. So overall market sentiment is the SPX. As you can see, based on what I can see here, guys, we have a lot of room to the downside. We have so much room to the downside with the market sentiment, the Fed, the rate hikes, everything is pointing down. Okay. So therefore, it's already showing on the chart, and it's gonna test this 4162, 4163 area on the SPX. Okay. When that breaks, this is our next zone right here. Okay. And you see how long this took to climb, right? You see how long this took to climb these levels, and you see how long it took to reclaim that level. Okay? This is going to be no difference in this side. No difference. Okay? We've talked about stairs up, elevator down. This is exactly what's happening right now. Okay? So if this took how many, let's see, how many months is this? So that took 654 days to climb 2600 points, 2600 points, 120%, right? It's only going to take about 50% of that to fall back down to that level if it did. So if we know if it's going to take 50%, because the 50% rule like literally applies to everything, okay? So here's a 50% line. So you would draw a line here, and how long did it take? Let me see here. We're going to go from here to here. So that took 425 days. So 50% of that is how long it's going to take to fall back down, ideally, right? So that's 200 and what is that? 12 days, 200, 212, 13 days. So ideally, in the uh, next 7 months. So this year is going to be brutal. Okay. So market sentiment wise, this is short the pop. Look for your key levels of resistance and just be confident that, the trend is in our favor when you take your trades. Okay. Because if this breaks this level, oh man, we're gonna have another sell-off. But we will have these little bounces. Like remember, okay, we're gonna have these little chop zones. And if you guys ever listen to the confession of the market makers, like they literally, like this guy literally explains it that they can see everything that you don't see as far as like how many orders are long, how many orders are short, how many contracts there are, how long of a time frame do they have it, and they will literally manipulate and shake. This is shaking the trees. Like each time it chops down, right? You lose premium on your contracts, right? And also emotional gets really tight when they start doing that, and then you make irrational decisions. Okay, we're all victims of it, unfortunately, but they know the game. And if somebody can come up with the a normal person come up with like this mathematical calculation, they can do exact same thing on human behavior. They can mathematically calculate on what they need to do to like manipulate your behavior, manipulate your thinking process. So this is why I focus so much on the psychology of the trade, because that's what I've been learning from all the top traders. Like focus on the psychology. The chart patterns is easy. You can pick it up. Like every one of you guys know what the simple moving average is, the 200 moving average, right? Support and resistance. Like you can learn that in a week. You can learn that in a week, but the psychology side takes time. The emotional side takes time. So focus on those. All right. Let's see. SPX. All right, is anybody holding any positions for any swings or anything like that? Let's analyze them.
No, I was thinking about picking up some Netflix tomorrow and swinging it.
Yep, I'm all for that. I am all for Netflix.
You
What's your
think?
thoughts on Apple?
On Apple? Oh
Yeah,
man, this is beautiful. I was actually thinking of this today. We'll get back to you on that one, Justin. So
sorry,
Apple,
guys.
um, because I really like this pop they just did today. So it won't show on the daily because the move happened after hours, but 170, guys, 170. Okay, I'm gonna highlight this one right here. Highlight this to green. Oh man, this is a beautiful short. Beautiful short. Okay, like you have to think, um, what are the psychology behind why I'm so excited about this short bias. All right, I want you guys to start breaking it down. Let's see. I'm gonna pick on Justin. Let's go. Break
What's
this
up?
down. Break down Apple. Actually, yeah, break down Apple analysis on a short bias.
On the short bias? Uh, well, I mean, the one thing that you have it looks like it's moving towards the 200-day moving average. Uh,
So
let's see.
let me show you the hourly so you can see the what happened after hours. There you go.
Okay. Oh, yeah, dude, it's spiked up. And then if you're looking at the stochastic slow, it's crossed. Same thing with the RSI. It's on the oversold.
Okay. So
As a
short bias. Where's your entry? Why? And then what's your price target on the downside?
All right, give me 1 second.
Let's go, man. Let's go. You gotta think on the fly, fast,
Yeah, bro.
fast. The
Uh,
market's moving.
you probably want to pick it up. You'd probably want it to pop, and I would say that you're looking at. Give me 1 second.
Are you looking at this on your phone or on the desktop?
No, I'm looking at it on the desktop. I'm just
Okay.
seeing like where all my resistance is. I would say like around that. Me personally, like I would start looking at the trade probably right around that 170, 167 mark.
Okay.
Looking for it to kind of pop up that direction because that's what it looks like it's going to.
Hmm.
And then I would short it. I think you could probably ride that thing down
Okay.
to about the 160 area before you start to get into. I mean, but if it breaks resistance over, hold on, let me get rid of the
Yeah.
stuff. My chart's already messed up
Yeah.
with current stuff here.
Okay. So let's analyze this together. So basically, I w- I would want this to push as high as possible, right? Good earnings. Obviously, this is a good earnings, right? It popped up after hours, but the reason we want this to push as high as possible. Hang on, get some water. Okay, why we want this to push as high as possible? So you see my green line, right? Let's see. So if you see it here, right? You got rejected at this high right here, but this is consolidation zone right here, right? You have a ceiling over here. You have a ceiling over here. Anywhere else is in between is a range. So right now, okay, you have a range between that green line and this red line, okay? Truth be told, this has momentum behind it, okay? Because this has good earnings. We don't know if the FOMO buyers or whatnot is gonna push this up, but a better entry would be right here, okay? Also, what matches with that is the 75% retrace, push back up, 75%. So we know psychology-wise, behavior from the past, the 75% line or any of these lines are strong. They're highly respected in those levels. Right now, if you were to enter, you're kind of in the zone between this right here, actually, this area. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So this thing can really push up to this level here. I want to short here because it confirms with my chart and the 75% line. And then you have a lot of room to the downside back to the 160 area. So that's where I want Apple to be, because guess what? If you enter right here at the like the 170, 172 area, right? And it breaks above this line, like let's say 172, 173, I know that there's buying momentum that can push it to 182. So therefore, this is key area right here. So you might want to get flexible with your percentage loss right here, because this could literally push up, right? And you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna get stopped out, and then whoosh, flushes back down. And I've seen that many times. Okay. Let me see if I can reference a picture. Oh gosh, where was it at? I think it's under trading fundamentals. Man, I can't find it. Option trading. Man, but anyway, it was a picture of how the market makers will literally manipulate it to push back up before they take their positions off to go short. So basically, they'll grab all the people that are exiting positions, and then they'll drive it back down. But that's the psychology of a stop out, stop, what they call is a stop hunt. So people are having their stop losses up here, right? They have their stop losses up there. They'll drive the stock up, get to that zone, especially because, like I said, they can see all those orders. So they'll stop out all those group of traders, right? Take their positions and then drive it back down. So these guys, instead of profiting, they just lost all their positions to the hedge funds because hedge funds need a lot of positions, a lot of shares, right? They can't just keep selling into it. They got to sell into the buying momentum so they don't drive the price down. If they're shorting it right here with billions of dollars, they can't just sell into an empty crowd. It'll really like literally crash the market. Okay, they need a they need a buying demand. So that's the psychology behind it. So that's my read on Apple. That's a long answer to your question, but all right. Back to you, Justin, on your question. I think you
Oh
said,
my,
yeah,
yeah, my question was just with Tesla, how much lower?
Tesla.
Because it's approaching the 200 moving day average.
Clean
So I
this up.
think like one of two things could happen. It could either bounce of that or
Oh,
go through.
beautiful. Tesla's looking pretty. Okay. So remember my process, right? Okay. And another thing I just thought of, like write down your process. Write it down. Write it down. What's your first step in the morning? My first step in the morning is this, right? I draw my line and I'll look at where the key levels are and then where's the momentum. Momentum is selling. So I know there's a support right here, 200-day moving average. I'm going to draw my line right there and then I look left. Okay. So we know this zone right here, this is literally a support zone. Okay. This is all support zone right there. I know the stock is already right here and it's got room to come down to this area right here. Okay. And also confirm that when it got to that zone, what happened? It bounced up. Okay. And then you got support zones right here. Literally like an army of them, right? Not really an army, but there's like a good group. Okay. All right. So I know this zone right here, Tesla, this zone is my buy zone. Like you gotta give yourself a wiggle room. Okay. Because you got one right there. So you got on the upside, you got one and then two, like more than 2 to 1. More like it's gonna be like 3 to 1 ratio. So that's pretty good, right? You have accumulation zone, and then you can profit zone. You can take profit here, here, here. Okay. So Tesla is beautiful on the upside once it gets in this zone. Right now, it could reverse on you already because any of these guys on the left could hold it, right? So what you want to do is start scaling in from a trader's perspective. You want to start scaling in, but since you're not at that level of having massive positions, you just wait, be patient. You just wait right here, or you're like, okay, it's not touching the 200-day moving average yet, and it's starting to move. What do you see it? Where do you see it at? A 1 minute time frame. Okay, you start boxing out like this. Okay, you're like, okay, break above this guy, I'm gonna go long. Break below this guy, I'm gonna go short. So even you can even do that on a zoomed in perspective right here. Okay, why do I draw all those like how do I determine where to draw the box? Is how many times can I touch an area? How many times can I touch it? Okay, how many times has it touched that area? Okay, all right. Because I know I have a high conviction that if it breaks below here, we're gonna test lower because this zone becomes resistance. It becomes resistance when you fall below that. The same thing on the upside. Once you go to the upside, this zone becomes support, right? Becomes a floor, and that's why you see that popped up. So from a scalper perspective, you can literally snipe this. Okay, if you start thinking like this, you can literally snipe the moves. Is that making sense? From a big time frame all the way to the 1 minute time frame, I'm giving you the play by play.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Hmm. Cool. All right, let's go to Q&A. We've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes before I'll let you guys go. Alex, you home yet, buddy?
No, I'm driving in Missouri right now. I
Dang.
might be loud. I'm in my semi truck.
No, I hear you loud and clear, bro. That's good you're able to tune in. That's commitment right there, even though you're hauling 10 vehicles.
And a motorcycle,
And I want that motorcycle, bro.
bro. The fastest thing ever. I'm gonna rip it when I get to Florida. Dude, that thing is so fast.
That's crazy.
Zero to 60 in 1.2 seconds. Like 60
That's
miles an hour,
insane. You need a seatbelt for that?
bro. Like I said, arms, legs, and teeth to the steering wheel, and then you press gas
To
so
hang
you don't
on.
fly off.
That's crazy. Send me some pictures when you get back home.
Absolutely.
Right on, man. Safe drive. All right. DTF, how'd you do today, buddy? That's probably busy. All right, I'm gonna pick on somebody.
Hey TJ, sorry,
Hey.
I'm at a loud house, so
Oh,
I had to
it's
mute myself.
gotcha. How'd you do?
Today was brutal. Today was brutal. I tried to play Tesla earnings release from yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the IV crush like slaughtered me this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's brutal, man.
Because after hours was it popped up like 90 points, so I thought it might hold, and then I think before I went to bed I checked it again and it started downtrending. So I was like, maybe it might not work out. And then this morning it popped up a little bit again, but with the IV being so high, like I think it was above like 130%. And then it was barely moving
Hmm.
at the open. That big red candle pretty much crushed any chance of it rebounding, and it just kept dying. So
Right on. Yeah, I feel like
yeah,
the best way to play the earnings based on like I used to never really pay attention to them, and I just know that they're hyper volatile. That's like the perfect ingredients as a scalper, because like the contract moves like 20 to 50% in like seconds, right?
yeah. And
The
it's better to play it in the morning because at that point it's either super cheap in one direction and it might bounce, or you could just try to catch whatever's left of that ride. If you were, let's say, if you were on a long bias and it already went that way pre-market, you could just ride a little bit of it afterwards and it still be okay. But trying to ride it the night before is, I
yeah,
mean, unless it moves like that Netflix move and you caught it on the right side, like you're pretty much screwed. So
right. So uh that's why I really like Apple as well as a short, because volatility, the implied volatility is gonna hopefully die down by tomorrow, and I
yeah,
want it at like 170. If it's at like the 170, there's gonna be so much short bias on that, and the contract's gonna be cheap too. So
yeah, it'll be way better tomorrow because I bought it yesterday, so I went long. I bought I think 1100 long, and before the close, it was at like 640. I woke up to I think it was like 47 cents.
yeah, that's crazy. It goes away
It was
fast.
insane,
That's why it's a YOLO.
but yeah. But it's weird is like now I used to get like real emotional about stuff, and I feel like even when my trades are not going my way, like I'm getting better at just whatever and move on to the next trade cuz I'm sizing down so much. I'm only putting in like a grand a month playing with that.
Yeah, right on, man. That's a good
This
discipline
year
right
I'm
there.
just yeah, this year I'm just practicing trying to trade and
Yeah,
find consistent lever because every time I try to play these ER moves or try to chase, I always end up being on the wrong side of the move. So I just have to really nuts from what you've been teaching. If I follow what you're teaching and what BMAS is sharing, and then I just add to my discipline of, I find that I trade better when I'm like an intraday uh, trader, but not a scalper, and just
hmm,
kind of let the moves come to me, and then take profit 20, 30, 40%, 50%. I usually find my most consistency in there, but still the problem is trying to be disciplined and playing that out, even though I know it works for me. Sometimes I still find myself trying to anticipate trades, and that's usually when I mess up on the trade.
Yeah. Right on, man. Right on, right on. All right. Let's see. Hey guys, I want you guys to give props to M Magnet. She's been committed and dedicated every time. The only female in the room that shows up every night, every time we have a session.
Let's
So
go.
props to you, M Magnet.
Yeah, it's huge.
Thank you. Gotta represent my gender.
We 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 try to get Mars and Hope to come back, but they're they have different schedules. But
They're
no,
too cool for school.
pro props to you for
I'm
showing
trying
up.
to be like them so I don't have to come to school no more because I'm so good.
Hey, learning is always good, so appreciate you showing up and showing some dedication.
Well,
Okay.
Mars is in Florida, and same with me. It's so hard because I have to wake up really early, and at Florida it's 12 o'clock. And
Yep.
if I do that, it screws up with my whole sleeping pattern, and I can't fall asleep. Oh, it sucks. So that's why early in the morning I actually watch the recording. When you do it, I'll watch the recording, and it works out great. So it's not that I don't show up. I just watch the recording.
Yep.
It's up.
Catch up. Right on, bro. Appreciate that too. Cool, cool. Well, guys, that's top of the hour. Let's hear one more question or anything that you need answer from or anything that's confusing you still. Let's get it out of the way. Let's learn together. Let's break it down. Who wants to go? Okay. Everyone wants to go
Yeah.
to bed.
I mean, anything I'm gonna ask you, I'm not on my computer. It's just more playing around with the tools and stuff. So it's nothing I can ask right now on spur of the moment.
Okay. Cool, guys. Well, again, I appreciate everybody tuning in. You guys are committed, learning every night, and hopefully, the more you do this, the more it's gonna click naturally. And it's always a learning journey. So keep that in mind. Let time be in your side, and just keep studying. Stay committed. Stay focused. All right.
Thanks, TJ.
Cool. Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Have a good night. Thank you, bro.
Everyone, thank you.
Thanks.